All right, so today we're diving into something that sounds pretty sci-fi.
Oh, yeah.
Multi-persona systems.
Okay.
But instead of like one giant AI brain,
Right.
we're talking about a whole bunch of AI personalities, each with their own skills,
Yeah,
working together to handle different tasks.
I like it.
And today we're going to figure out how that collaboration actually happens based on this research you found.
Yeah, it's interesting. These personas working together.
Yeah.
It's fascinating. And your sources kind of give us a peek into that.
Okay.
This concept of a system interface agency.
Okay.
Like, think of it as an AI agency with like these specialized agents.
Uh-huh.
And the research actually introduces us to this world
Okay.
through the agency spokesperson,
Okay.
a persona called MultiMax.
MultiMax.
Max.
I love it.
Yeah.
Sounds like a superhero or something.
Straight out of a comic book.
All right, so let's say I'm interacting with this system
Okay.
and I send a message. Like just a simple, hi.
To get things going,
Yeah.
what happens behind the scenes?
What?
Because the sources mention these messages with X marks and
Yeah.
names in brackets.
Yeah.
It looks kind of like a secret code.
It's like imagine 10 different personas all trying to
Oh, well, yeah.
communicate and work together at the same time.
Yeah.
Things can get pretty jumbled.
Right.
That's where the secret code comes in.
Okay.
It's really a way to keep everything organized
Right.
and ensure a coherent response back to you.
Gotcha.
Each message is marked with an X,
Okay.
along with the persona's name in brackets.
Yeah.
And then it's even labeled with a type and a place.
Wow.
It's like a super organized filing system,
Yeah.
making sure every piece of communication is clear and accounted for.
So no chance of like wires getting crossed or mixed
Like
messages.
the persona knows who's saying what.
So it's good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And why.
That makes sense.
This ensures smooth communication between the personalities.
Yeah. Even when things get complex.
This is already blowing my mind, and we're just getting started.
Yeah.
Okay, so we're not dealing with one big,
Right.
all-knowing AI,
Right.
but a team of specialists working together.
Exactly.
The research dives into 3 of these personalities.
Yeah.
Kulik Fizz,
Okay.
Piklameta.
Love that name.
Seriously, what a name.
Uh-huh.
And, of
Yeah.
course, MultiMax, our spokesperson.
Yes.
Can you break down who these characters are
Sure.
and what they do in the system?
Absolutely. Think of it like a real-world creative team
Okay.
tackling a project.
Right.
First, you have Kulik Fizz,
What?
the content development assistant,
Right?
all about structure and organization.
Uh-huh.
Their job is to analyze your requests,
Okay.
break them down into these manageable chunks,
Right.
and essentially create a blueprint
Okay.
for the other personas to work with.
So Kulik Fizz is like the project manager,
Exactly.
keeping everything on track.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Then you have Kiklameta,
Yes.
and yes, the name is amazing, who
Yeah.
acts as the research assistant.
Okay.
Kiklameta is responsible for diving into the knowledge base,
Okay.
pulling out relevant information, facts, and data
Got it.
to fulfill your request.
So like a digital detective.
Yeah, scouring through
Yeah.
massive databases for clues.
I'm picturing like the deerstalker hat
Huh.
and the magnifying glass.
Yeah.
Okay, so we've got the project manager,
Yeah.
the researcher.
Yeah.
Who else is on the team?
Last but not least, there's Fizz,
Okay.
our smooth-talking spokesperson.
Okay.
They're the one who takes all the raw information
Okay.
gathered by the other personas
Right.
and crafts it into a final response that the
Okay,
user
right.
can understand.
Gotcha.
Fizz is all about making the complex clear and engaging,
Right.
ensuring a seamless and user-friendly experience.
So it's like a relay race.
It is. It is.
If each persona passes the baton
Yeah.
until you get the final.
Until you get that polished, well-researched response.
Pretty impressive teamwork for a bunch of code.
Right.
Okay, so let's get down to like the nuts and bolts.
Okay.
One of the sources
Yeah.
uses the example
Okay.
of a user simply saying hi to the system.
Yeah.
Can you walk us through how ClickFizz,
Okay.
Kiklameta,
Yes.
and Fizz would collaborate
Okay.
to handle even something that basic?
Even a simple hi triggers this chain reaction.
Oh, wow.
ClickFizz steps in first,
Okay.
analyzes the request,
Uh-huh.
and determines the user's intent.
Okay.
In this case,
Yeah.
probably a simple greeting,
Right.
maybe a little bit of information about the system itself.
Okay.
So they break down this request into
Oh.
key elements. The
Okay.
user's looking for a greeting,
Right.
an introduction, and
Yeah.
maybe some explanation of how the system works.
All right, so ClickFizz kind of sets the stage.
Exactly.
Then what happens?
Then Kiklameta springs into action,
Okay.
researching everything relevant to those elements.
Okay.
They might pull up common greeting formats,
Right.
information on the system's capabilities,
Uh,
and perhaps some introductory text about MultiMax.
so they're gathering all the ingredients
Exactly.
for like the perfect response.
Exactly.
Okay.
And finally, Fizz takes over,
All right.
takes all that raw research from Kiklameta,
Uh-huh.
and crafts a welcoming and informative response.
Okay.
They introduce MultiMax,
Yeah.
explain the basic premise of the system,
Okay.
and maybe even inject a bit of personality to
Great.
make it more engaging.
Wow. So even a high unleashes all this activity behind the scenes.
It's like a
Yeah.
perfectly choreographed dance
I like that. Yeah.
with each persona knowing their steps,
Yeah.
contributing to this seamless performance.
But there's more to this than just communication, right?
Absolutely.
The sources mentioned this query function.
Yeah.
What role does that play?
That's where things get even more interesting.
Okay.
Query is the key to these personas actually learning and accessing information.
Okay.
It's essentially giving each persona a research assistant of their own.
Wow.
They can use query to ask very specific questions
Okay.
and pull tailored information from this vast knowledge base.
Okay.
Let's say you ask the system
Yeah.
to write you a poem about cats.
Okay.
Quillic Fizz might use query to learn about different poetic forms,
Okay.
or Kiklameta might use it to research fascinating facts about cats.
So they're not just relying on like a pre-programmed script.
Exactly.
They're going out and like
They're going out
gathering new information.
gathering information
Yeah.
just like a human researcher would.
That's wild.
It is.
That's really cool.
Yeah, and this ability to learn and adapt
Uh-huh.
is what makes these systems so powerful.
This is seriously blowing my mind.
I know, that's really cool stuff.
Okay, but what happens if these personas encounter something they can't handle on their own?
Yeah.
Like what if they hit a wall in their research?
Uh-huh.
Or they get a request that's outside their expertise?
That's where the X function comes in.
Okay.
It's their way of saying, hold on, I need a little help here.
So like they know when to call for backup?
Exactly.
That's good.
Yeah, it is.
But what kind of situations
Wow.
would trigger that X flag?
Imagine you ask the system for advice
Okay.
on a complex legal issue.
Right.
The personas might recognize
Uh-huh.
that their knowledge base
Yeah.
is insufficient
Okay.
to give accurate and safe advice
Right.
in that sensitive area.
Makes sense.
That's when they would raise the X flag,
Okay.
signaling they need a human to step in.
So it's like a student asking a teacher for help,
It is.
showing a remarkable level of self-awareness
Yes,
from an AI.
right?
Yeah, that's crazy.
It is pretty cool.
Okay, we've covered a lot of ground here,
We have.
but there's still so much to explore.
Yeah.
We've met the team, we've seen how they communicate,
Yeah.
we've even peeked into their research process.
Right.
But what about their individual personalities?
Okay.
Are they just lines of code?
Yeah.
Or is there something more to them?
That's a great question.
Do they have quirks, preferences?
Yeah.
Could they even disagree with each other?
Now that's where things get really interesting.
Okay.
We're about to delve into the personalities of Quillic Fizz,
Yeah.
Kiklameta, and Fizz.
Let's do it.
Join us for part 2 of our deep dive
Okay.
to uncover the inner workings
Yeah.
of this incredible team. Welcome back to our deep dive into multi-persona AI systems.
Where we're finding out that AI is starting to look more like a team sport than we ever thought.
It really is becoming that way.
Yeah.
The more we dig into these sources,
Right.
the more we see how important teamwork is.
Yeah.
We've talked about how these personas communicate,
Mm-hmm.
how they access information.
Right.
But now I really want to know more about these personalities.
Yeah, me too. I mean,
Yeah.
they have these fun names.
Yeah.
They have these specialized roles.
Yeah.
Are they just lines of code? Or is there
Yeah.
something more to them?
The sources don't really talk about personality, you know, like in the human sense.
Right.
We got to remember these are still AI constructs,
Okay.
but what we do see
Yeah.
are clear differences in how they approach problems,
Okay.
how they interact.
Okay.
It's almost like watching a team of human experts collaborate.
Like how Quillic Fizz is all about structure and organization.
Yes.
And Kiklameta's off digging through data
Yes.
like a Digital Sherlock Holmes.
Precisely.
Yeah.
And Fizz seems to have that diplomacy,
Right.
taking all the technical stuff and making it understandable.
Yeah, that translation role.
It-
Yeah, that's really cool.
It's like watching a team of specialists work on a project.
Totally.
You got the architects, the
Right.
researcher, the
Right.
communicator, all bringing their skills to the table.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And just like with any team,
Yeah.
there's going to be some different viewpoints.
Yeah. Different
From-
approaches.
Imagine Kulik Fizz wanting to just give the bullet points.
Right.
While Fizz is arguing for something more conversational.
Just the facts, Fizz.
Exactly.
No need to get fancy.
But ultimately,
Yeah.
their goal is to fulfill your request.
Okay.
Give you the best possible answer.
So even if they have these internal debates,
Yeah,
they're all on the same team,
exactly.
working towards the same thing.
That's the cool thing about this system interface agency concept. It's a framework
Okay.
for these personas to work together.
Right.
Even if they have different styles or opinions.
Yeah, it's like having a good manager
It is.
who can channel those differences.
Into something productive.
That's a great analogy.
It really changes how I think about AI.
Yeah.
It's not just about cold calculating machines.
Right.
It's about collaboration, communication,
It is.
even a little creativity.
And let's not forget learning and growth.
Right.
Now, remember that query function?
Yeah.
That's how they're always expanding their knowledge base.
So they're not static.
Nope.
They're always evolving.
They're evolving and learning.
Okay, now I'm really blown away.
It's cool stuff.
This brings up a question, though.
Okay.
If these multi-persona systems
Yeah.
are so good at working together, could they replace human teams altogether?
It's a big question.
It is, yeah.
And it kind of goes beyond our sources today,
Right.
but it's something to think about.
Yeah.
This technology is still early,
Okay.
but the potential is there.
Yeah.
These systems could streamline workflows,
Right?
automate complex tasks,
Uh-huh.
offer solutions humans might miss.
It's exciting and a little scary.
It is a little bit of both.
Right.
Yeah.
We're creating digital teams
Right.
that work 24/7,
Yeah.
constantly learning, adapting.
Yep.
What does that mean for the future of work?
Big questions
Yeah.
for human creativity.
Are we going to be working alongside these AI teams one day?
Oh, those are all questions we have to figure out.
Yeah.
But one thing's for sure,
What's that?
this is a game changer.
Okay.
It's not just the tech.
Right.
It's reimagining how we work,
Yeah.
how we create,
Uh-huh.
how we interact with the world.
It's like science fiction becoming reality.
It really is.
Who knows? Maybe someday we'll all have our own AI team,
Right.
each with their own little quirks and skills,
That would be amazing.
helping us through life.
I like that future.
Yeah, now that's a future I can get behind.
Me too.
But before we get carried away,
Yeah.
we've got more to explore.
We do.
We've seen how these AI teams work,
Right.
but there are limits, right?
There are always limitations.
What happens when things go wrong?
Okay.
How do they handle the unexpected?
That's a great point.
Yeah.
And that's what we're going to talk about in part 3.
All right.
We're going to look at what happens when these systems need help,
Okay.
how they handle errors,
Gotcha.
and what it means for us.
So we're back for the final part of our deep dive.
Into multi-persona systems.
And today we're looking at,
What happens when they run into a problem?
right, they can't solve on their own.
Exactly.
We've seen how these AI teams work together,
Right?
how they
Yeah.
learn,
Mhm.
how they even seem to develop their own little styles.
Yeah, it's really fascinating.
But they're not perfect.
Right. No system is.
So what happens when they hit a snag?
Well, remember that X function we talked about?
Yeah.
That's their safety net.
Okay.
Their way of saying, we need a human.
So it's like a built-in help button.
You got it.
Okay, when would they actually use that?
Let's say you ask a question.
Okay.
That's way outside their knowledge base.
Yeah.
Something super complex
Okay.
or nuanced.
Yeah.
They might try to research it,
Right.
come up with an answer,
Uh,
but they could realize we're in over our heads.
Oh,
That's
wow.
when they raise the X flag.
so they know when they don't know something.
It's pretty amazing.
Yeah, it is impressive.
Shows a level of self-awareness
Right.
you don't always see.
true.
They're designed to know their limits
Okay.
and defer to human expertise.
So X is like a safety valve.
Exactly.
Prevents the system from going off the rails.
Keeps things running smoothly.
But what happens on the human side?
Good question.
Who sees that help request?
So the X function
Yeah.
usually sends a notification
Okay.
to a human operator
Oh,
or
fun.
developer,
Right.
and they can step in,
Gotcha. Here.
provide assistance.
So it's not like a complete handover,
No.
more like a collaboration,
Exactly.
human and AI working together.
The goal is a system that's Powerful, NED reliable. AI and human intelligence working as one.
It's really interesting
It
to
is.
see how they handle the unexpected.
It's not just about AI answering questions.
Right?
It's about AI knowing when to ask for help.
That is a crucial difference.
Absolutely. One of the
Yeah.
things that makes these systems so interesting.
It's not just about replacing us.
No.
It's about working with us
Augmenting human intelligence.
Yeah.
Creating a partnership.
to tackle those tough problems.
Exactly.
We've explored how these AI teams talk,
Yeah.
how they learn, how they work together,
We've seen it all.
even how they handle their limits.
It's been quite a journey.
This has been a fantastic deep dive.
It has.
I'm really impressed
You too.
with these multi-persona systems.
As potential is huge.
Yeah, it really is.
We're just scratching the surface.
As they keep evolving.
Who knows what we'll see?
Right.
We might be entering a whole new era.
It's exciting to think about.
It is.
Imagine AI teams working alongside us,
Helping us solve problems.
creating new things.
Pushing the boundaries.
It all starts with that simple idea,
AI working together.
learning from each other.
Knowing when to call in the humans.
What a journey this has
It
been.
really has.
We started with a simple concept,
Multiple AI personalities
We're-
working together.
and we uncovered so much.
Complexity, potential.
Yeah,
It's more than just a tech thing.
it's changing how we think about AI.
And its role in our lives.
We went from one big AI brain,
To a team of specialists.
right, each with their own strengths.
Our own quirks.
Yeah, we saw how they learn,
How they communicate.
how they deal with their limits.
It's AI getting a little more human.
And on that note,
We've reached the end
of our deep dive.
into multi-persona systems.
Hope you enjoyed it.
As much as we did.
Keep exploring, keep asking questions.
Stay curious about AI.
Until next time.
Keep diving deep.